In today's video, we're going to take a look at a loss on our very first trade of the day. Always rough to start your morning out with a loss, but it does happen. Really important to stay calm and look for the next opportunity. We see another opportunity to get back in, we make back the loss, plus a little bit extra, which sets us up nicely to look for another opportunity on the morning. Hey guys, I'm Tex. If you're new here, I share my journey and experiences with trading and investing in the stock market. If you do like the video, please do me a favor, hit that like button. Leave any comments or questions below. Always love to hear from you guys. I'll make sure I get to each and every one of you, and subscribe to the channel for more content like this in the future. So let's go ahead and take a look at these live trades here on Amazon today. All right, so I'm looking at Amazon here. The entire market gapped up pretty decently overnight after selling off pretty bad yesterday. The Dow dropped just over 2,000 points yesterday, which was a record point drop in one single day. The entire stock market was actually halted for 15 minutes because it dropped over 7%. Really incredible day yesterday. Now, with the gap up today, really expecting that we would get some type of a pullback in the morning. We're seeing that now. Amazon pulled back about 20 points or so, and it's flirting with this pre-market low, and then also the 200 SMA right there on the daily chart. Okay, so I'm eyeing the 1850 calls. Ideally, I want to see this pre-market low hold here. The fact that we broke could mean that we're going to come lower, but if we reclaim that support very quickly here, then I would see that typically as more bullish and more likely that we would push higher, because what that kind of tells me is that sellers tried to push it down underneath that support, but they couldn't hold it under support. Buyers stepped in and brought it back up. Okay, now that's exactly what's happening here. You see that we broke down below support and we quickly reclaimed, and now we're pushing higher. So I'm going to go ahead and open up a position here in the 1850 calls, which is right at the money, just a little bit in the money. We're at about 1852 and change now. And I like that. So I'm basically risking off of this pre-market support level here and your 200 SMA. I'm going to give it down to the low that we just put in right there. That's going to be my risk level. And I'm looking for at least a retracement up here into your moving average, your VWAP. You've got the 1862 level, which is a previous high of day. I always mark previous high of day resistance levels as yellow, and previous low of day support levels as magenta. So I know what I'm looking at with this color-coded line, that it is a daily level. It is a previous high of day that's most likely to be some type of resistance. And you've also got that VWAP coming up right there in that area as well. So from where I'm getting in on the trade, I've got relatively tight risk on it, looking for at least this area for a target. If we really hold here and the market pushes higher, Amazon should get a really nice boost and could probably easily sell through that target level. So we shouldn't have any trouble reaching that level if we're right on the trade. But right now it's having trouble. We quickly reclaimed, which would look bullish, but now we're coming right back down to support. All right, so at this point, if the buyers don't step in, you could just argue that we're, essentially bear flagging here, and it's probably going to come lower. Now, I'm watching the SPY, that's the ETF that tracks the S&P 500, very closely on my side monitor, because Amazon in particular trades very closely to the market. Unless it has a specific catalyst on the day, it's going to trade very closely to what the SPY is doing. Now, the SPY is trading right at a key level of support, which was a previous high of day. So previous resistance you would look to be support. It's really flirting with that level right now, the same that Amazon is flirting with this pre-market level right here. If it holds, it has a really good chance of squeezing higher. You have to think like shorts. If they don't get this breakdown, then they're going to start covering their position, and we could, easily get a nice squeeze higher here on the market and on Amazon. So I'm kind of eyeing both of them. At this point, it looks good. I mean, the fact that we tried to break that support level and quickly reclaimed, again, typically is a bullish sign, but we are nevertheless still struggling here. Now, you'll notice that I'm in at 42.58. The contracts are really expensive right now because of implied volatility. Anytime you get implied volatility that spikes up like that, options contracts get really expensive, especially on these more expensive stocks like Amazon. The problem is that the spreads can be horrible. You can see the spreads are, oftentimes 3 points right there. So I don't like it anymore. I'm really kind of losing conviction here. It's clearly struggling. the market as well. It looks like it's going to break down. So I try to throw an order out there to cover my position relatively close to flat. Trying to get out without having to eat as much of a loss because of the spreads. Basically, it doesn't look good. It looks like it's going to crack right here. Unfortunately, I don't get filled on the order, and we do crack here in just a bit. So we're going to see that the stop gets hit. We just have to eat the loss, and that's the way it goes. That's if your stop gets hit, you take the loss, and you just stay calm and look for the next opportunity. So we're going to see that come up here in just a minute. Let me just fast forward here. All right, here we go. So we're starting to break. And clearly, it's looking like we're going to have to take the stop. You can see we're down $253 in the position. And as it comes lower, there we go. All right, so we're through our risk level. So the stop has been triggered. What I'm expecting is a quick little pop-up here, and then it's going to come down at least into that previous close, which obviously that was too far for me to risk. So as we're popping up, I'm expecting us to pop up just a little bit here, back test that pre-market low, and then come lower. So on this quick little pop-up here, I'm looking to get out as the premiums come back up just a little bit. And I'm going to hit the button here to just mark it out of the position. But unfortunately, with the slippage, there you go, I'm out with a $323 loss. So with the slippage, the spreads, it can get pretty brutal. So made the right call, obviously. Just have to take the stop and move on, look for the next opportunity. Now, as Amazon comes down into the previous close here, it actually ends up holding that, I believe, and then rallies off of that. So again, if you get stopped out of a trade, don't take it personally. There's no reason to get upset. You calculated your risk before you got in the trade. You were fine with what you were risking. So there's no reason to really be upset about it. It's a trade that just didn't work. They're not always going to work. So I'm just looking for the next opportunity. And as Amazon comes into that previous close and starts to bounce up here, I realize when I look over at the SPY that it's quickly reclaiming that very key level of support that it just broke. And again, speaking to the fact that when you break a key level of support and quickly reclaim, it's typically a bullish sign. So we're seeing that occur first on Amazon and now on the SPY. So because the SPY did drop a little bit lower, Amazon, of course, reacted with it and came lower. But now that the SPY is reclaiming that key level of support, what is Amazon going to do? It's going to come up along with the SPY. All right. So I'm just going to watch Amazon here. Let me fast forward a little bit. Okay, so what we'll see here, Amazon is now coming back up into that pre-market low. If it's going to be weak and come lower, I would expect that to reject and for it to continue lower here. If it reclaims this, along with the SPY reclaiming that key level of support that I talked about, then I'm going to be looking at getting back into this trade. Okay, so now we're starting to reclaim. And if you looked at the market chart right now, it's doing the same. So they're basically trading very close together here. All right, now as this is reclaiming, what I'm going to look for here is, now that we're back above that pre-market level of support, that 200 SMA, what I'm going to be looking for here is on any pullback of this reclaim is to see that pre-market low hold right there. All right, so we've reclaimed, we've squeezed up, and now we're pulling back. On this pullback, if we hold this pre-market low again, then I'm really going to take this trade with high conviction that we're going to get a retracement again, at least up into this level here, and probably more. Now, the unfortunate thing is that because the contracts are so expensive and the spreads are so wide, I'm really only going to feel comfortable taking one contract. Also, because of the fact that I'm already down $323 on the day, and I kind of set my max daily loss at $500. So I don't really want to risk more than $500 on any one day. So I figure I'll give this one more shot. If I'm wrong, I'm probably going to end up losing about $500 or $600 on the day, and we'll just have to call it a day and come back another day. But at this point, it's again, it's reclaimed that support. It's pulling back. It's really starting to look good. The SPY's falling into alignment. Looking for one more wash down here to confirm that pre-market support, also a higher low, and then a push up higher. So I'm going to wait for confirmation on this. I'm not going to buy it into that support. I'm going to wait and let it prove that it's going to hold that support, and then I'll buy it. So of course you won't get as good of a price on the contract, but at least you have that confirmation that most likely you're going to be right on the trade, and so you can afford to buy it just a little bit more expensive and look for the full move that you're targeting here. Okay, so we bounced right off of pre-market support perfectly, and we're coming back up. So you'll see I am sitting right on the buy button and just waiting, watching very closely, still holding. So here's what I want to see. It held support. I want to see it come back up through this high right there. That's what I want to see. Okay, so as it's coming up here, I'm watching very closely, getting ready to pull the trigger. Again, I'm going to go with the 1850 calls on this because we're relatively close to 1850. And it's got some decent volume and open interest. Okay, so here we go. We're pushing up through that high. Let's get one little pullback, and boom, I'm in. All right, there we go. Okay, so I'm back in the same 1850 calls. And what I'm going to do is watch the ask and the bid. I'm going to watch mostly the ask though, and see how high the ask comes up on this push up into our target zone right there. I just want to see how high the ask comes up. So I don't know exactly how high it's going to come up, but just kind of get an idea of how high it will come up to give me an idea of where I'm going to put my order. So I see it's at 45.95. And as we push up a little bit higher here on Amazon, you look down here, there's a bunch of 47.35s. Look at all those 47.35s. So I like that. I'm going to go ahead and throw an order out at 47.35 to sell my one contract. There it is. So I'm sitting on the ask at 47.35 along with everyone else there to just get rid of that one contract. And that should be timed about right as Amazon comes right up into the VWAP and that previous high day. Here we go. 47 coming through on the tape, and there's my order right there, 47.35. Perfectly right as we come up into our target zone. Now there's every chance that Amazon could retrace quite a bit here, but you know, the trade idea was there for me to at least get a trade up into the VWAP in that previous high day. And again, the thing is I only have one contract, so when you have something that's coming up into resistance, you have to pay yourself. And unfortunately, I can't sell half of a contract. So basically, I had to sell the one contract. If I really had conviction that we had it in us to really put a big move in on the day, I could have held and then added on any pullback. Nothing wrong with that strategy. But again, the fact that options are so inflated right now because of implied volatility and the size of the spreads, especially here on Amazon, I just decided to go ahead and play it safe and lock it in. So I made back the loss plus about $62 extra. And then we'll just see if there's any other opportunities that present themselves this morning. And hopefully we can make a little bit more on the day. So like I said, I will wrap it up there, guys. Hopefully the video was helpful. Most important takeaway is if you take a loss on your first trade of the day, just stay calm. Just remember that you calculated out in your trade plan that if you had to take the loss, you would be okay with it. And if you're not okay with it, then you were risking too much money. Okay, so you need to go back and look at adjusting your position sizing so that you can give yourself enough room to let these stocks work without stopping you out for a bigger loss than you really feel comfortable with. Okay, and if you do that, then I think you'll find that it's a lot easier to stay calm and get back in whenever you see another opportunity later on. All right. Well, I appreciate it, guys. Like I said, if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, leave any comments or questions below, and I will catch you guys in the next video. See ya.